Hello and good morning if it is morning time for you. My name is Liv and today I'll be guiding you through a short morning flow sequence, something which is a nice way to start the day, nothing too strenuous, nothing too bendy, just something to start to get the muscles and the joints moving for the day and to help you feel that little bit more awake. So we're going to start in a nice comfortable cross-legged seat. So you can choose to sit on something elevated if you like, a block or a blanket. Let your chest sit nice and tall, your shoulders to relax down away from your ears. Maybe just close your eyes for a moment to allow yourself to settle in. Just start observing your own breath, watching yourself breathe in, feeling the ribs and the chest expand. And as you exhale, allowing everything to soften. Just taking a few breaths here to allow yourself to settle into the practice, to feel focused. And then take a nice big inhale, circle the arms wide, reach them high up above you, let the hands meet if they will, and lift the chest up towards the hands. You can let the head drop back to keep opening into the chest and the throat. As you exhale, draw the hands down towards your belly. Your chin comes to your chest to lengthen the back of the neck and to stretch into the wrists. Great, we'll do that once more with the arms. Big circle wide, reach them high. This time palms face forwards. As you exhale, let those palms come down in front of you onto the mat. Reach them far out ahead of you. Let your head drop, the chin towards the chest, so you've folded over your own legs. Sit bones to stay rooted to the mat or to your block. And just allow gravity to do its thing here, sinking forwards. Allowing the hips to soften out if you can. Try to release that tension that sort of squeezes hold of the hips. Let everything go soft. Keep focusing on that breath. Nice big inhales right to the bottom of the lungs. Exhales to sink the belly a little closer to the legs. Taking another inhale, see if you can just draw your chest slightly forwards, finding length in the spine. Exhale, refold. Lovely. Use an inhale, walking your hands back in so you're coming back up to an upright shape. Taking your left hand onto the floor next to you. With an inhale, send the right arm to the sky. Turn your chest towards the same hand and a little lean over towards the left to get a nice side body stretch along that right side. Feeling the ribs grow wide. Taking some deep breaths as you push the body out in that direction. Lovely. As you inhale, come all the way back up. Place that hand behind your hips. Left hand sweeps across onto the right knee. As you inhale, sit tall, lift the chest. As you exhale, gently draw against that knee, twisting to look over the right shoulder, but keeping your body nice and upright, trying to sit tall, right on top of your sit bones. Inhale into the twist. Exhale to come back to center. Other side, right hand onto the floor next to you. Inhale, left hand reaches up and then a little bit over as you push your hips a little bit towards the left to make that side body grow long. Each time you breathe in, keep rolling the chest open towards the sky. Using the exhales to keep the sit bones sinking down towards the mat or the block. Inhale to rise all the way up. That hand goes behind you. Right hand sweeps across onto the left knee. Next inhale, sit tall, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw against that knee, twisting the torso and taking the gaze over that left shoulder. Keep the breath nice and strong and controlled, breathing all the way to the bottom of the lungs, even when it feels hard when you're twisting. Great, coming all the way back to the center. And then we're going to roll over the knees to bring the hands out in front of us into a tabletop position. So into your tabletop, have your hips right above your knees, your shoulders right above your wrists, making a nice square shape with the body, a little lift of the belly up towards the spine to start to engage the core. And then from here, as you inhale, lift the chest as the ribs push to the mat, gazing forwards into your cow pose. Exhale to round the spine, chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone, pressing the spine to the sky. Inhale, rolling back through, lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades down and back. Exhale to round, pressing the spine to the sky as the shoulder blades broaden. Inhale again, coming forwards, press the sit bones up. Exhale to round. Lovely, then come back to a neutral tabletop position, taking your left leg out behind you onto the ball of the foot. Press the heel away to reach towards the floor as your shoulders stay above your wrists. So big stretch in the back of the left calf. Give it a little push. And then switching sides, place that knee down, right leg extends out behind you. Push through the heel. Keep the arms nice and strong, waking up the shoulders. And as you exhale, bring it back to the center. Then come to sit down onto the heels. So the knees are staying quite narrow together. Walk your hands away from you. So you're coming into a closed knee child's pose. You can rest your forehead to the floor if it will reach. Otherwise, just let your head hang heavy, chin towards the chest. Press your palms into the mat to push your hips towards your heels. Couple more breaths here. Keep a nice rounded spine. Push the pelvis down towards the heels to help open into the hips. Use an inhale to roll yourself back towards tabletop. Tuck the toes behind you. To come into down dog, lift your knees first. Push the belly back towards the thighs. You're opening out the armpit and the shoulders. And then lift the hips. Start to give the legs a little pedal. Remembering that the muscles are going to be quite short, quite stiff. They've just been doing nothing for however many hours you've been asleep. So be kind to them. Don't try and force something that perhaps your body is capable of at 6 o'clock in the evening. So pedal those legs out. Start to wake up the back of the hamstrings. And then find some stillness in your down dog. So keeping those knees bent, press the hips to the sky. And keep pulling your ribs and your belly in towards the spine to start to keep using your core, should I say, and creating that heat within the body. Then as you inhale, look forwards towards your hands. And we're going to walk the feet into the top of the mat, going nice and steady. Keep your feet hip distance apart, feet point forwards. Once you get there, take a ragdoll fold. So the knees are going to stay very bent, so the belly can stay glued to the thighs. And then you can either cross your arms or dangle your arms, whichever you prefer. And if you would like, taking a soft sway from left to right, a bit like a pendulum. Great, and then from here, taking your hands to your waist, your chin comes to the chest, keep a rounded shape in the spine, and then unravel the body all the way up to standing, finding yourself near the top edge of your mat. And we'll just do a couple of slow rounds of Sun Salutation. So the feet come together, the arms alongside you, dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale to take the arms high, gaze towards the hands. Exhale to forward fold. Bend the knees generously so the hands can touch the floor. On the inhale, hands to your shins. Draw your chest out long in front of you. Press the thighs back. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step the feet back into a high plank. Shoulders stay above your wrists. On the exhale, let's drop the knees down for support. As we exhale, come all the way down to the mat. Belly and chest come at exactly the same time. Inhale into baby cobra. So lift the chest, Squeeze the shoulder blades together, keep the pelvis down and the tops of the feet down. Tuck your toes, roll via your knees and then hips to the sky to come to downward facing dog again. Take a moment to find that length through the shoulders, push into the hands, press the heels towards the mat and lift the hips to the sky. Great. Inhale, looking forwards towards the hands. Exhale again, we're walking those feet in. All the way to the top of the mat, keep them hip distance apart. Soft bend in the knees. Let your head dangle as you fold over the legs. Inhale to halfway lift. Press the thighs out backwards, lift the chest halfway. Exhale, refold over the legs, hips to the sky. Inhale, rise your way up to stand with a flat back, reach the arms up, keep the shoulders away from the ears. And as you exhale, once again, hinge from the hips to fold, touching the hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway rise, draw the chest out long. Exhale, hands to the floor, feet to step back, find high plank, tuck the tailbone, belly up towards the spine. Exhale, dropping your knees, keep that tailbone tucked, elbows close to the ribs as you come all the way down onto the floor. Inhale, lifting the chest to gaze forwards into the heart opener. Exhale, tucking the toes, press back via the knees, hips to the sky to return to down dog. Take a few nice deep breaths here. On your next inhale, look forwards towards the hands. Exhale again, walking those feet in. Coming to the top edge of the mat. Use your next inhale, chest forwards into the halfway lift. Exhale to fold, touching the mat, bend the knees to help you get there. Now from here, let's inhale into another halfway lift. Draw your chest out long. This time, exhale, take the hands to the mat and step the right foot to the back of the mat and lower down onto your back knee. Lovely. From here, lift away from your front thigh, keeping those back toes tucked. And you can then interlace your hands, resting the palms onto your front thigh and then gently pressing into those palms to work the elbows a little straighter. Help lifting your chest, keeping your hips with a nice heavy sensation dropping down towards the mat. Using your breath to allow yourself to try and soften into something if it's feeling a little intense. But remembering to practice softly first thing in the morning. Try not to push your body into what you think is its furthest range. Great, one more inhale. On the exhale, take the hands back to the mat. We're going to shift back into a half split, so hips to come on top of your back knee, flexing the front foot. If you need to take the foot a little further away from you, then do so. Pull the toes back towards the shin. You can always take your hands to rest onto a block if the floor is too far away. Making sure you're trying to prioritize keeping your spine straight, so you're pulling your chest out long. The exhales to allow the body to fold towards the thigh. Lovely. Inhale, pop the foot back down, come into the lunge, lift the chest, rest the hands towards the thigh. Maybe take the arms to the sky if you're ready for that. As you exhale, let those hands come back down to the mat or the block. Shift the hips back, flex the foot, keep the chest pulling forwards. Inhale, come back forwards to the top of the mat. Place the hands either side of the foot and then stepping this foot back into a downward facing dog. With your next inhale, walking the feet forwards to come to the top of the mat. Once you get there, hands to the shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take the hands back to the mat. This time it's the left foot. Step it all the way. Lower down onto the back knee, keeping those back toes tucked. Inhale, lifting away from the thigh. You can interlace those hands to place on top of the thigh here, and then press into the hands. Draw the chest back. Keep the hips dropping forwards and down. Keep focusing yourself on your breath. Watching the inhales, the exhales, keeping them nice and controlled. Take one more inhale as you are. Exhale, take the hands to the floor. Maybe have your block nearby. Then we're shifting back into half split. Hips to go on top of the back knee. Flex the toes to draw them up towards the shin. Maybe take your hands a little further back. Allow yourself to stay nice and long through the spine. And remembering the leg doesn't have to be straight. A bent leg is perfectly acceptable. We're just looking for a stretch in the back of the right thigh. As you inhale, keep the chest drawing out towards the front of the mat. As you exhale, rock back forwards into the lunge. Lift the chest, either take the hands to the thigh, maybe even take the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, return the hands to the mat. Shift your hips back, flex the front foot. Allow the chest and the spine to stay forward. Great, inhale, coming back to the top of the mat. Hands to frame the front foot, stepping that foot back into a down dog. And then from your down dog, dropping the knees to the mat, keep your hips on top of your knees with your sit bones pressing to the sky. You can untuck the toes if it's more comfortable. We're walking the hands out into puppy pose. So let your forehead come to find the mat, maybe to find a block if the floor feels too far away, if it's too intense on the shoulders and the chest. But sinking the chest down towards the mat. Keeping the arms reaching out above you with the biceps as close to the ears as you can manage. And then from your puppy pose, keep your arms extended out in front of you. Keep the elbows down. I want you to ripple the body forwards into Sphinx. So you're going to bring the belly to the mat. Your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Your chest is now lifted towards the front of the mat. And as you come into Sphinx, gently draw the elbows back towards the body so you can lift the chest as you press the front of the hips down into the mat. This could be a really nice place to stay for a couple of breaths. If you have a little bit more range, you can choose to now take a Cobra instead. So we allow ourselves to come down onto the chest, take the hands a little wider than the shoulders, a little further forwards than the shoulders. Pelvis stays down. As you inhale, lift the chest again. A little bit of pressure into the palms to help the chest lift, but keep your shoulders dropped far down away from your ears. The front of the pelvis is still pushing down. And each time you breathe in, think of puffing the chest out in front of you. Exhales, allow the front of the body to sink, the front of the hips, to sink down. Keeping the face and the shoulders nice and soft. Taking a last inhale. As you exhale, coming down onto the belly and the chest. Take your right arm out alongside the shoulder. The palm faces the floor. Let yourself roll over onto your right hand side and let the right shoulder and the right side of your head rest against the floor for a nice chest and shoulder stretch along that right upper body, upper sort of chest and shoulder area. And then rolling back onto your back, switching sides, left arm out, palm to the floor. rolling onto your left hand side. Let your head rest down. Let that left shoulder feel heavy down against the floor. And then rolling back onto your belly. Use your arms to push yourself up onto the knees and then all the way back so you're sat onto your shins, nice and comfortably. You can choose to take a couple of minutes rest in Shavasana if you would like to before starting your day. Otherwise, I hope that's been a good way for you to start your day, helping you feel a little bit more awake and energized. And I hope to see you back here for another practice again soon.